Building consistency for lasting success. So, what is success? Success has to do with the plans we laid out and we accomplishing those plans, which leads to us being fulfilled. And in our fulfillment, that other persons too are being blessed also. So, the life of many successful people in our society who have done great things in their industries, one thing we find with them is a life of consistency. They all of them, majority of them, had consistency in something. They were all obsessed with something, with their endeavors and their goals, their vision. And while they stayed with it for so many years, they came out with good, lasting success that has left a print on the sand of time. So, but then we want to, as individual, learn how to build this consistency for lasting success. Everybody craves success. Success is attractive, right? And everybody wants it. But then it comes with a price. There's a price that success comes with. It's the price of diligence, the price of patience, the price of being committed to something for a long period of time. So one key thing in building lasting success is living a life of routine, having habits or system around you that allows you to be able to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. So while you have the vision, while you've written down the goals, it is important that you are able to break down those goals in small achievable means, right? So you'll be able to accomplish it, because everything big really starts small. Every big thing, everything that did last, they started small. The idea started small. Facebook that we see today was built in a room by how many friends? And then from what we are seeing today, it has grown so big. It didn't start all big. There's nothing lasting that starts big. It means that the thing we do daily compounds and they give us a lasting success. But the problem we have today is we struggle with being consistent with things, and we have to find out where the problem is. Why is it that we cannot really stay consistent on whatsoever thing we are doing, right? So one of the things that has plagued us today is that there is so much knowledge out there. Knowledge is vast, knowledge is free out there, right? So it's pushed people to this place where they want to do every single thing. And you see, when there is no focus, when there is no selectiveness, it's very difficult to find effectiveness there. It's very difficult to find lasting success. We are talking about lasting success, not just success on its own, right? Maybe one time success and it's all gone, but lasting success that is going to stay for a long period of time. There are a lot of persons who have come in, or they had one blow, the success came in, but they could not sustain it. They couldn't sustain it. So what that simply means is that who they are could not sustain that level of success. That is what it means. They could not, because they themselves, they've not grown to that particular height. So, but then what makes the man? What makes the man is what the man does consistently. So what we do changes us, get us to the place where we become being. So we embody what we've done for a long period of time. So people who maybe won the jackpot and they could not see that level of success or maybe achievement at that point in time, you notice because they were not consistent at something. They did not have routines, they did not have habits that by default will help them to sustain the success that and they've been privileged to have, right? Or they've been privileged to be lived by their lives. So all of this is just as a result of a lack of discipline, lack of routine. There's no routine around the person's life. So talking about lasting success, one needs to build consistency. Consistency is very important, very very important. But then there's where consistency stems from, which is a person's vision. So we say it is said that show me a man who is disciplined, I'll show you a man who lacks vision. That means the man has not really seen anything. He hasn't seen that thing that's in front of us. Maybe he's just trying to shadow box to see how things go because because of societal pressure, right? What everybody is doing. But then he has not come to a point where he has that good a vision for what he wants to accomplish as a person. So vision is very important in we staying consistent. In we staying consistent so that we can build lasting success. So we are not just wanting to get things that are external. The aim of being consistent is not just for external things, but then it is for an internal benefit. So it is that we want to be changed from our inside out. We want to build a value system that is from within outward and not one that is from outside inward, right? So that is why consistency is there, to change the person. But once the person is changed, it drags everything in that phase of his life towards himself, right? Because of his consistency. So consistency is very important. So this is how it works many times. If you've been consistent in one or two things, it will be very easy for you to be consistent in other things. So many times people have not been consistent with one particular thing. That's why they struggle with every other areas of their life, because these things can be transferred. The consistency you had maybe in your academics, you can easily transfer it to your business. You can easily transfer it to your ministry. You can transfer it to your relationship. You can do all of this because you've learned a principle of being consistent with something, and you know the joy and the reward that comes with that. So it will be very easy for you wherever field you find yourself, wherever endeavor you find yourself, you just tell yourself, okay, yeah, I know there's something at the end, right? For me, if I stay consistent, I know what I'm going to become because I've stayed consistent for this long period of time. So this is very, very important for one to do. So there are certain caveat things we must just put in place in regards to consistency. Please, you shouldn't try to do so many things. Do not try to do so many things. When you are trying to do so many things, you will not be consistent. You will not be consistent, because with consistency, even though we talk about that, it doesn't have to do with your feeling, right? But then you need energy to stay consistent. And if your attention is in so many things, whether you like it or not, your energy will be going to those places. You're going to those places. So if for consistency, you want to conserve your energy and focus it to those few areas where you want to be known for. You cannot be known for everything. Other things that we may not be known for will not suffer, but then we cannot be known for everything. You cannot be a master of all. It's a simple truth. You can't be master of all. Mind my words, I said master, not maybe good. You can be good at a lot of things, right? But being a master in everything, it is very, very, very difficult. So but to build this lasting success, you should be able to do all of this. The player called Ronaldo has built his legacy. He has built legacy in football that it will take many years for anybody to be able to break the record that he has set. But let's look at him, because he's one of the sportsmen that yes has really showed consistency. In fact, he's still playing even at the age of 40. Which player has gotten to the age of 40 and is still made mark like Ronaldo? But he's still healthy, he's still fit. Why? Because of the certain routines he has around him, because of the certain consistency he gave to some things like his diet, things like exercise, right? All of these things helped him to stay consistent, helped him to build lasting success. I'm telling you, even though Ronaldo is old big clubs out there will still consider to get Ronaldo. It doesn't matter because he always delivers. He may not be able to do all of the running like he normally used to before, but then we know that he's always a danger to the attackers at every point in time. Why? Because this man built in consistency. And like I said when I was talking, I said that this consistency built the vision. There's something he has in front of him. He wants to be the greatest player of all time. So there's something that's really driving him. Something that's pulling him every single day. That's what he's looking at. The Bible tells us that he said that look forward to the prize that is set before you, right? To run the race, looking forward. He told us how to do so. So it means that there should be a prize in front of you that you are looking forward to. This is going to help you to be consistent. When you look at the race that is in front of you, the Bible constantly let us know who we are going to become, what we are going to become, the reward we are going to have as time goes, as we walk through this life in faith, right? It kept us doing so. As we stay consistent in faith, it tells us about a reward that is in front of us, and that is what our heart looks forward to at every point in time. What we said to the church, we said that Christ is going to be appear. Is going to appear. It doesn't matter what you are facing right now, right? Christ is going to come like in a cloud, right? I'll be caught up with him in a cloud. That's what he kept on saying with them. Why? To keep them going even in the face of persecution. Now, in your journey of building success, right? You need to really know what to define that success to your own self, not to allow that person to define it to you, or to allow society to define it. You need to define it by yourself. All by yourself, you need to define what that success means to you and how priceless it is to your own heart. It is what's going to keep you even days where you know that maybe you are tired. When you think of what is going to happen to you, what you are going to achieve, the kind of person you are going to become, how effective you are going to be, is going to pull you out of that slumber. You have a goal. You have a goal. If I do not do this now,